Welcome back to Queens on Queens. I am your host, Nate Clark, and today I do not have my co-host with me, Miss Shanna B. Unfortunately, she couldn't make today's filming because she's had some personal things going on, and she gave me the blessing to continue on without her tonight. So we're just gonna pray for her that everything turns out well. If you don't believe in prayer, then just send her some positivity. But the show goes on. So today, before we get into our TV shows, let me spill some hot tea first. So the word on the street is that the executive producer of both The Real Housewives of Atlanta and The Real Housewives of Potomac, Eric Fuller, has been fired. That's great news for me personally because I feel like whenever these shows start declining in quality, is yes, it's the cast and the cast chemistry, but it also is production. And when production starts playing favorites for people, they start editing storylines to favor one side over the other, when they start cutting things out that we all know because we hear about it in the blogs and everything, and they don't want to show it, that's when you start having production issues. And so I feel like finally Bravo is listening to people who have been voicing the same concerns, and Eric is on his way out. And so we're going to get some new producers. Hopefully, the quality of Potomac will go up. They'll get Atlanta back to the greatness that it always has been before these past last couple years. Personally, I would love to see Carlos King come back and produce Atlanta and Potomac. Atlanta was at its greatest when Carlos King was in charge of it. He's been behind some of the greatest reality show moments that I can think of. Even Housewives of New Jersey, season one, the same season finale where Teresa flipped the table. When Danielle Staub slammed that book on the table and got all that shit started, Carlos crawled under the table and handed Danielle the book so that she could do that. And it was seamless on camera. And this Carlos knows what he's doing. He's behind a lot of great reality TV shows, and I would hope that he would come back and produce Atlanta again, and maybe even Potomac. However, I don't think that's likely because he now owns his own production company. He's on the Oprah Winfrey Network, doing great things over there. I don't see him coming back to Bravo and doing anything unless they hire his production company, which is going to even delay Atlanta even more. Because right now, Atlanta doesn't even have a cast. Candy Burris came out a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was a week ago. I'm not really sure when it exactly came out. But she said that no one from Atlanta knows anything so far. They've not made any casting decisions. They have no idea when they're trying to get back started up producing and filming again. It's just, we don't know what's happening with it. It does make sense for it to be delayed if Eric has been fired, so they need to go ahead and take their time and hire a new EP and then go from there and decide who they're going to have as the cast on Atlanta. But hopefully they can make these decisions soon because we miss our girls. Other than that, I think that's all I have for the hot tea. So let's get into our TV shows. Oh, by the way, yes, I am wearing a fur coat because it is fucking 20 degrees outside. And even though I do have heat in my house, I like to be warm. So I'm gonna keep this coat on. Moving on. We had our part two of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. Not really much to report there, just a whole bunch more fighting. Mary Cosby came out during the last half and the last 20 minutes of the show and gave her opinions on things. She is firmly Team Monica. She also likes Angie, which is shocking to me, but whatever. And what the reason why I'm bringing this up is because she, during this reunion, told Whitney that she believes that Whitney is a racist. And Whitney calmly, not being defensive or anything, asked her what has she done that or said that would make Mary feel that way. And Mary went into how the history of the Mormon church is racist. They didn't even allow black people to become members of the church until late 70s, early 80s, somewhere around there. But the church is rooted in racism. It is a fact. You can Google it and look it up. It's not something that we just make up. So, and because Whitney came from that church, she attributed that to her. Whitney explained that she's no longer a member of that church and that she's against the Mormon church for many reasons, including the fact that it's rooted in racism. So again, she asked Mary, like, is that the only reason, or is there something that I said or done? Because I really want to understand. And Mary told her that it's nothing that she's actually said, but it's just the way that she carries herself, and it's a gut feeling that Mary has, and that if you're not a person of color, you can't fully understand it. And Whitney said, okay, I understand, but thank you for letting me know. And I just want to say, like, that is how, I don't want to say that's how conversations should go when you're accused of racism, but it's a stark difference between the way that Whitney responded to that compared to Dorit Kemsley on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, how she responded when Garcelle told her that she believes she has subconscious Karen behavior. Dorit flew off the handle, got very defensive, tried to pull everything out the book, was like, oh, I'm so hurt, blah, blah, blah. Basically made it about Dorit. And how dare you call her racist. Whereas Whitney was like, okay, I want to understand what have I done or said that I may not be aware of. And when Mary said you didn't do anything, just the way that I feel, she accepted it, she respected it, and she moved on. She didn't make a scene about it. She didn't get defensive about it. She wanted clarity on what Mary was feeling and why she felt that way. And when Mary expressed it, she let it go. She was like, okay. Just want to point out the differences and why I respect Whitney more than Dorit. Anyway, moving on. We have, well, let's go back to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, actually. So, Kyle did her event. It was a memoriam of her friend, her best friend for decades, committed suicide. And so she had an event honoring her in her memory. I believe they raised money for National Alliance of Mental Illness. NAMI, NAMI for short. I could have been getting that whole name wrong. But during this event, that damn Anna Marie bringing up Sutton's esophagus again and how she looked through her old medical textbooks and asked all her colleagues and what the condition that Sutton claims to have is not real and she's making it up, or maybe she had a history of an eating disorder, or maybe this or maybe that. Girl, many people, many professional doctors have already come out in support of Sutton and said, yes, this is a real condition. You look dumb as hell for every minute that you get on this show talking about this woman's esophagus. Have you nothing else going on? But then again, if my husband was accused of rape, I would probably divert the attention to something stupid too. Anywho, I'm glad that we had this episode and let Kyle talk about her friend and how the suicide has affected her and everything, because it really does explain her whole lifestyle change. It explains why she went so hardcore in the working out and the not drinking and everything like that. Rocks you to your core to lose someone that you're so close with and lose them so suddenly. And it was just very, it was a triggering episode for me to watch because in my early 20s, I battled suicidal thoughts. I did attempt suicide twice. Both times I felt like something was physically preventing me from going through with it. And like I know what it's like to feel so low that you don't want to be alive anymore. And so I don't judge anyone who has committed suicide. I just want, my point in bringing that up is to say that if you can get through to the other side, life gets better. Not the next morning, not the next month, maybe not even the next year. But if you keep fighting to stay alive, things will get better. And I just want people to know that because I am so eternally grateful that I was not successful in my suicide attempts because I love my life where it is right now. And yes, I still struggle. Yes, I still have things going on, and sometimes it pushes me over the edge. But I love life. I'm grateful for life. And I just hope that anyone out there who is struggling with these thoughts, that you just press through and try to get to the other side of it. Enough about that. What else can we talk about? Potomac is boring. Married to Medicine is boring. It's really been disappointing because it really feels like since Quad was voted off the island on Married to Medicine, that it just went downhill. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't want to watch Simone buy her boys a condo. I don't want to watch Toya bitch at Eugene because she didn't like the date that he put a lot of time and money and thought into. Like, I don't know. Not like I want to see them fighting all the time, but okay, I kind of do. But I'm just saying it's a mighty big coincidence that once Quad left, the show started getting boring. I'm not saying we need Quad, but we need something in there. I don't. I was side eyeing Phaedra though on Married to Medicine this past episode where she was doing the Reiki, whatever that's called. Honey, you would do anything except practice law, won't you? Like at this point, do we still need to call you a lawyer? Because every time I see you, you got a new job. Speaking of Phaedra, I have been watching The Traitors on Peacock. If y'all haven't been watching that, you should. It's one of my favorite reality competition shows. And baby, this season, Phaedra got picked to be a traitor, and I thought it was perfect for her because she's been a traitor for the past 2 seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta that she was on, and she did it perfectly. So I expect to see her at the finale. I expect to see her win this game because she knows how to stab somebody in the back. She by Sheree is also on the Traitors. And one thing I don't really like about this season is that it's all celebrities. It's not a mix of celebrities and real people or just all real people. Because why do y'all need the money that bad? Like y'all are working people. So the only person I feel deserves to win this show, other than Phaedra, would be Sheree because she's really the only one that needs the money. So, I mean, somebody got to pay them bills. I'm just saying. But that's all I got really. I just wanted to pop in, get us an episode this week. I want to keep it short and sweet. I know y'all don't want to hear me talk for a whole hour, but hopefully Shayna will be able to return next week. And if not, we're gonna figure something out. But we're gonna keep the show rolling. Bye. If you enjoyed tonight's episode and you'd like to hear more, do subscribe, follow, download, like, comment, all the positive things, and we will see you next week.